One of the things I get asked is what the secret is to losing weight, as if there's some magic secret, which there isn't. The basic idea, for lack of better words, is if you want to be a size 10, you live the life of a size 10. So you eat like a size 10 and you exercise like size 10. And you think, oh, well, that's easy. Everyone knows that. So that, as I say, that's not the secret. I think one of the key secrets is, if it's a secret, is good goal setting. And I think one of the secrets, so to speak, of good goal setting is to set performance goals. I think what happens is that we think we want to lose a certain amount of weight, we want to get into a certain dress or pair of trousers or suit by a particular date, and you think, yeah, we're going to do that. So, for example, you want to lose 2 stone by August 15th because there's a wedding you're going to, something like that. And it seems like a really good goal. But the problem is you can't just stand in front of the mirror and lose weight. You've actually got to do stuff or not do stuff. And I think that is part of the real story here. There's 2 sides. One is setting good goals, and I'll explain what I mean that in a moment. And the other is that those are performance goals affecting behaviour. And the reason why I say performance goals is because it's what you can actually do. As I say, you can't just stand in front of the mirror and just will yourself to lose weight, because that's not how it works. What you can do is decide that you're going to eat less snacks, or you're going to do more exercise, and those are things that you can actually do and say, yes, I did that today, or no, I didn't do that today, and you have a sense of control that you're moving towards what your goal is. So, as I say, that's one half is performance, the other half is good goal setting. Now, you might have heard of SMART goals, and I have a variation on that, which I call something like SMARTAWA goals. Yeah, I know. Well, that might make it more memorable. So we start with the original idea of SMART goals, which is something that's specific, which is the S. The M is measurable. The A can mean a number of different things, so I use a number of them, but let's say achievable. So it's a kind of something that is actually realistic. Well, actually, the next R, the R is the realistic. So there's confusion between the achievable and realistic, and what I say is achievable is whether something is achievable on a general scale, like losing a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time, whereas realistic is whether it'll work for you with your other obligations, childcare situation and things like that. And the final, the T, the final part of SMART, is time, and what sort of time you want to achieve that in. Now, I've added an extra part at the end, which is AWA, hence SMART-AWA, because the other A's are useful as well. And one is aligned, A for aligned, and that is whether your goal is actually aligned with your core objectives. Now, with this and weight loss, you're going to think, well, of course it's aligned. But the thing is that, particularly when it comes to performance goals, you need to think a little bit more about how those line up with your other strategies. It links back into being realistic to a degree. But, for example, if one of your goals is to go for a run each morning, you need to think, obviously, whether it's realistic with your other commitments. But, for example, if you also want to get into work earlier each day for other reasons totally unrelated to weight loss, well, then going for a run each morning isn't going to quite align with that. And it's not that you can't do it, but if things don't quite align, you need to be aware of that and decide whether it's still good to do, or whether you need to adjust one or the other or something to make it all fit. You can't just hope it'll work. You've got to plan it through. And the W is the why. Because with anything that you're trying to do that's challenging, and weight loss certainly can be very challenging, is to have a clear idea of why. And it's good if it's tangible, like there's a wedding you need to go to, there's a particular suit or dress you want to be able to wear. That is something you can look at and think, why am I doing this? And you think, That's why I'm doing it. Or it might be for health reasons, or perhaps you have a relative or close friend who's had some sort of illness that's made you think more about your weight. Have an idea why you want to do something. If you just have a goal that's well defined, but you don't have a clear idea why you're doing it, when the going gets tough, it's going to get difficult to keep going. So have a clear idea of why. And the last thing, the last A, is agreed. And this probably makes more sense in a work setting where you are setting a goal for somebody else and you need to agree with them and they agree with you that they're going to do this and they're happy with the goal, the way the goal's been defined. At home, it might be with children. If you want to give one of your children a goal of, well, anything really, you need to have an agreement that they're happy with, they understand the goal, and you're on the same page. Now, obviously, for something like weight loss, it might just be you yourself. That's fine, but you need to have that sense that when you've defined the goal, you agree with it yourself. You look at it and think, yeah, that's okay. I've got it planned out. I'm happy with that. I can do that. Whereas what you might really think is, it looks good. I'm not sure I can see that happening. If you feel that you can't see it happening, something's wrong. You need to go back through your goal and redefine it. And I would suggest also that you start with something that's a little less challenging, because then it'll help to build up your confidence. Don't start by doing something that's really difficult, like I'm going to go for a run each morning. If you don't normally go running and you've got other things to do in the morning and think, how are we going to do that? Start with the simpler things like, well, I'm going to walk to the next bus stop, or going to walk to the next tube station before getting the tube. That step. And then when you find that you can actually do that, you think, yeah, good, I set a goal, I managed to keep to it. Then you can set a new goal that's a little bit more challenging and gradually build it up to the point where you're actually doing a lot. Because the whole point of setting goals isn't to be Superman or Superwoman. It's about making things happen the way you want them to happen. It's you taking control of your life. It isn't being controlled by somebody else. It isn't being controlled by lack of self-will and that sort of stuff. It's like having a plan and making it happen the way you planned it, and that makes you really feel really good about the achievement, but also you've achieved your achievement, and that's a good way to move forward. So anyway, just a few minutes there about SMART goals, or SMARTAWA goals I should say, and setting performance goals about what you're actually going to do. So for example, with food, it's a case of, well, I am going to eat. Well, if you have trouble getting anywhere near your 5 fruit and veg a day, just decide, well, I'm going to make sure I eat at least 3 each day, or at least 4, whatever you think is the next stage. If it's about snacks, decide, well, you're not going to eat the snacks you routinely eat, or you're going to eat a different snack. But the key thing here is to define what you're going to do or not do in a nuts and bolts, bread and butter basis. Pardon the expression, bread and butter. So it's not a case of what you want to end up happening or what your ideal is in terms of results. It's a case of what you're actually going to do, because that you can control. And at the end of the day, or the end of the week, you can say, did I do that, did I not? Because weight loss is variable, and I'll come to that in another video. So there we are. I hope that helped. Please excuse the production quality, but I'm not a video producer. I'm a personal trainer and coach, and I hope at least I've communicated the idea and this has been some use to you. We'll talk again soon. Bye.